other business. Commissioner Jones, I think we have a nominating committee update.
We do. First, let me thank Joe Cannell and Heston Williams for serving on the nominating committee with me this year. We concluded this year's business, and January board members, you all will elect new officers. The nominating committee's recommendation for 2012 is Chair Paige Robinson, Vice Chair Margo Uri Simmons, and Secretary Mark Walker. And the nominating committee also indicated that next year's nominating committee, I guess when it starts its work in August, should take a look at some potential bylaw revisions and some other potential revisions in the areas of governance and make a recommendation to the board at some point next year. And that was the committee's business today. And thanks again to Joe Heston.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments or business? Okay, I'd like to move into consideration of resolution number 1256, which would be a resolution honoring Mr. J. Thomas Jones. Mr. Jones, this is his last meeting as commissioner of the board. And Tom was trying to figure out exactly how to, I guess, honor you. I considered getting some of your cronies like Gil and Gary to trot up here.
Thank you for not doing that.
I respectfully decline, but I'd just like to say personally, I really appreciated you. I think you've sort of been like a mentor from my perspective to me. I think I've roughly sort of half the time that you've had on this board, and suffice to say, the way you conduct yourself has really been a positive influence on me especially, but I think I'd say that for all the board here. I'd like to call on Mr. Coley to read resolution 1256.
Be my pleasure. A resolution of the Knoxville Utility Board concerning J. Thomas Jones, who is concluding service as a commissioner. Whereas J. Thomas Jones became a member of this board in January 1998 and has now served 14 years, and whereas during his tenure, KUB has experienced growth from about 369,000 customers to over 439,000. And whereas despite a 19% expansion of its customer base over the past 14 years, KUB also reduced the number of employees by 12% to help keep KUB's O&M costs per customer as low as possible. And whereas at the beginning of his tenure, the board witnessed a significant organizational restructure that aimed to prepare KUB in the region for an anticipated changing regulatory environment. And whereas in 2000, Commissioner Jones made the first motion for KUB to purchase the historic Miller's Building at 445 South Gay Street for its use as a corporate headquarters, beginning a trend of historic building renovations in downtown Knoxville. And whereas in 2004, KUB successfully negotiated a settlement of the Clean Water Act litigation and has undertaken an unprecedented $650 million wastewater system capital program. And whereas during the second term, Commissioner Jones demonstrated support of KUB's vegetation management program, exhibiting leadership during the formation of the policy review process and implementation efforts. And whereas in his last year of service, Commissioner Jones advocated to adopt a resolution to implement the Century 2 Asset Management Program and long-term funding plan, thereby committing to accelerate investments for aging infrastructure across all systems. And whereas, in addition to his active role as a commissioner over the past 14 years, he served as chair and vice chair of the board, as well as a member of and chair of both the audit and finance and nominating committees. And whereas Commissioner Jones has further distinguished himself and KUB through his community involvement with the Knoxville Bar Association, Leadership Knoxville, and the City of Knoxville's Civil Service Merit Board. And whereas over the past 14 years, he has consistently acted in the best interest of KUB and its customers. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Knoxville Utility Board, one, that this board gratefully acknowledges and commends J. Thomas Jones for his dedicated service to KUB, its employees, customers, and our community. Number two, that the board recognizes Commissioner Jones' effective service and that the board genuinely regrets that his time with the KUB Board of Commissioner has concluded. And number 3, that this resolution shall take effect from and after its passage, and that a copy shall be provided to Commissioner Jones.
Mr. Anderson, I believe, has made this motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, resolution 1256 passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing to me the transformation you witnessed in the last 14 years. There's a lot been going on here.
Well, it's been, let me just say this, it's meant to know, that notwithstanding my gruff appearance at times, I can get emotional and don't want to embarrass myself today. It is much more out of the service on this board than I've given. The relationships with staff, with everyone in this room, it's just been so fulfilling to me, personally and professionally, and in the spirit of community service that I have a strong belief in. My only regret is I've never had a chance to thank every employee of KUB for the service that they give. I ran into a fella just about 2 weeks ago. I was Christmas shopping and was stopped at Elliot's Boots, and there was an employee in there buying his annual boot allowance. And we chit-chatted for a minute. It was just a fascinating, 2 or 3 minute conversation about what he did at KUB. And I really regret that I've not had a chance to do that with all of you in this room and every other employee. But I leave here more fulfilled than when I came, and I thank all of you for that. I truly do. So thank you.
And as a small
Can
token.
I say?
Yes, please.
You know me, I have to talk. When the chair introduced this subject, he said that you had been somewhat as a mentor to him, but I think I got you talked, Chair. Tom is literally a mentor for me. He and I first worked together when I was his subordinate at the City of Knoxville on the Civil Service Mayor Board when he joined the board in the year 2000. So he raised me as a pup, and when I had the opportunity to come to KUB, he and I talked long and hard about it, and his advice and counsel in that decision was very important to me. But also, in the 14 years he's been here on this board, it's been something I'll cherish for a long time. So on behalf of me and my personal feelings and all of the staff and the employees, we thank you.
Thanks, man.
And I'll just add, here's a small token of everyone's appreciation of J. Thomas Jones, Commissioner 98 to 2011, Chair from 2007 to 2009. Upon motion by Mr. Jones, KUB's Board of Commissioners voted to purchase the historic Millers Building February 17, 2000. It's a nice rendering of.
Wow. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All
sir.
right. Thanks again to everybody. I really, truly have gotten so much more than I've given, and I thank you all for that. So now let's eat lunch.
Well, I was just going to say, Tom, you're going to be sorely missed because we really have appreciated your insight, your perspective, your dedication. You couldn't have been a better board member, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to serve with you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Any other business? I'm going to officially call this meeting adjourned. We will re-adjourn, re-meet across the hall for a lunch session that's open to the public.